Morning, Michael. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here this morning, Michael. Big news. You got big news, Michael, and you're the first one here to hear it. All right? You got big news, Michael, and you're the first one here to hear it. All right? Oh, we got some echo. You think I got it fixed? That should do it. Michael, super backer, nice to see you here this morning. We're just getting the stream warmed up here. And it's nice for you to join me here this morning. What do you got? Good morning, Brody. How are you today? Happy Friday. Yes, today is a fantastic Friday. It is. It really is. I'm really excited because today I've got some big news for you folks here who join me each and every morning on the show. So I'm going to definitely have to bring you something new here today because by way of the stock test, it's Friday. We've got some very, very, very interesting Magic the Gathering news, and we are going to share it with you folks here this morning. I'm excited. I'm excited too. I'm super excited. All right, let's roll into the show here this morning. Good morning, morning. Yes, it's Friday. Good morning, beautiful and amazing people who join us here on the show. Those of you who like to crack open packs and shuffle up stacks of Magic the Gathering cards. It's not so hard to join me here on the morning show each and every weekday where we discuss the prices of Magic cards, what's trending and news in the world of Magic the Gathering. But before we do that, I just want to warm up a little bit with you folks here today. I want to got to warm up the chops here, Michael. And to do that, we're going to review some AI generated Magic cards over at the Rosewater site. All right. You know the rules. No, let's go over them once again. If the card is playable any way whatsoever, even if it's a little bit overcosted, if it's a functional Magic card that works, even if it's a little underpowered, overpowered, we're going to pass it. You hear this sound. That's the sound of the dinger. But if the card has got any gibberish on it, any way whatsoever, if it's non-functional junk text, if it's got a bunch of gobbledygook on it, maybe it's missing something important. To be a Magic card, you're going to hear the sound. The sound of the buzzing, cousin. All right, let's take a look and see what we've got here over at the Rosewater site. Folks will be flooding into the stream here this morning. Hot dice. Wow. How you doing? Brody's disappeared. Magic, you want to talk magic? Let's talk this for a magic trick, right? The disappearing, reappearing Brody. How can I review the cards if I can't see them? This is going to be difficult. All right, let me just vaporize and re-vaporize here for you folks. Hot dice, nice to see you. Rolling in the stream here, getting hot with the dice. Okay, perfect. Perfection. All right, suplexing the perfection into the stream here. Let's get a little bit of lighting here. Flood of the Dalek. Nice to see you here. Prime 406 is here. Okay, we got Benson in the stream. Nice to see you here this morning, Benson. It's going to be a good one. I'm so glad you could make it. We're flooding in the Dalek. What is this? It's an artifact. I've already got a bad feeling about this one, Benson. Benson, I've got a bad feeling about this one here. Your speciality. A speciality. Yo, Benson's just in time for the AI cards, right? Benson and friends? Tuning in here. Blood of the Dalek. This is an artifact. When a player casts a spell, that player loses a life. I like it. The only problem is, it needs a mana cost. I gotta fail it. I'm sad to say, but this seems fine. Oh, wait. It is 2. It's just, I'm missing it. Let's get Brody's pen here. I was hiding. The mana cost is here. I almost failed this. What do you think? I think we're okay. Oh, back on target. It's Friday. Are you footloose and fancy free here this morning? It's Friday. We're getting ready to go. It's almost yabba dabba do time, ready to slide down the dinosaur's tail here for you folks this morning. Let's take a look. This is okay. I take it back. Let me bring the heat. Hot dice coming and got to warm up, huh? That's right. Every morning we warm up with some of these fantastic AI magic cards. And you will know we do. I got some news for you folks here this morning. It's cool. It's a cool card. Whenever a player casts a spell, that player loses a life. It's 2 mana. It's an artifact. It's colorless. It's got the cool old border on it. Flood of the Dalek. It's got a wizard. It looks like what's he doing? There's no flood. Or maybe he's got the robot's got a plunger and the wizard's got a cup. So, I mean, what else can you ask for? It's got everything you could possibly want. What more could you want from a magic card? A win condition. Now, this one here, I saw some interesting comments from who was it? I replied to this one. I couldn't help it because no, Will Weaver. Will Weaver on the stream. He said this one should be blue. Now let's read it together, folks, because I've had a couple of people say this card it should be blue. Blue dabba dee dabba die. This magic card should be blue. Strangle of the Distortion. A black 2 and X this sorcery reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put any number of artifact cards with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. So you reveal the top 6. You could put any number of artifacts onto the battlefield, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is 5 or more, this spell can't be countered. Mwahaha, this thing's hotness. Will Weaver is a great dude. He is out there daily running the Rosawada Stone. Yeah, he said, I think it should be blue. And I said, I agree. But nevertheless, we've got it in black. It looks like it could have a Yeheni type art on here. Yeheni. Say it with me. Strangle of the Distortion. I think we got to give it a. Let's give it one of these. Let's give it a ding. It's fine. It's fine. It's an amazing thing. The wonderful thing about dingers is dingers are wonderful things. Thanks for tuning in on the morning show. Thanks for joining me on the stream. Let's check it out. Fair OP. Fair? Let's give it a fair. I know it's probably going to come in OP, but I don't even care. Fair. I don't care. It's fair. It's fair. Fair, fairest. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? This magic card. Bloodruster Adapt. Oh, Selesnya card. You know, when I was opening the Murders of Karloff Manor, Selesnya is not my favorite color pairing to play. It's not. But I every once in a while, like when I opened my bundle, I couldn't help but gravitate to it because I got some bombs in there. I got like the Vindicator that exiles the battlefield, and it's a 4/2 and it flies, and I got some pretty good green cards like Pick Your Poison and Hard-Hitting Question. Some good removal. There's some good stuff. I also got the Wolf token creating legendary 3/2 that comes in the battlefield with a wolf. So, you know, Selesnya, sometimes you can't get around it, can't get away from it. It's actually too good to pass up sometimes in limited. So I don't typically build Selesnya decks just in constructed because, you know, I don't know. And not my favorite type of pairing, but I think it was really strong in limited. Bloodruster Adapt. This one costs a white, a white, a green, and 5 for a bird spirit. Talk to me, spirit. Spirit, talk to me this morning, birdie. All right, I like it. It's a star 4 bird spirit with undergrowth. I don't know what undergrowth is. When Bloodruster Adept enters the battlefield, you may searchy your library for an artifact, exile it, then shuffle. For 5, you get to shuffle the library and activate anytime you can cast a sorcery. 5 mana shuffle, right? Just, you need a shuffle? This will get you there. When Bloodruster Adept enters the battlefield, you may have target creature get -3/-3 until end of turn. Not too pretty bad. It does a little bit of wiping. It's a bird. It looks like a seagull, a she-hawk. Yes, a she-hawk. I got some news for folks here this morning. What are we going to do? Let's give it a... I think this is fine. Let's pass it. Excuse me. It's a fine card. I'd take it. What are we going to rate it, though? Take it and break it. I got some news, so don't jump off the stream yet. Selesnya is okay, but Naya... Selesnya is okay, but Naya, that's real nice, you know? And I'm not going to argue about it. All right, Will Weaver, thank you for these. Occasion drawn Honored. Occasion. Usually occasions are white, but this one's red, so it's a red occasion. Don't go anywhere. I've got some interesting news for you folks here this morning. 2/2 creature with flying for 5 mana. You get a 2/2. You get 2 red and 3 for this 2/2 flyer. Seems great. I hope all my 2/2 bears cost Cost 5. No? All right. Until end of turn, you get to pay 0 until end of turn. Target creature gains whenever you creature control deals combat damage to a player. That player exiles the top card of their library. It just target creature gets that. It'd be better if you could play it that turn. I don't know about a. It seems a little underwhelming for 5 manas. You get a 2/2 with flying with this fine ability on it. I don't know. Well, I'll give it a pass. It seems okay. Let's get the community rating on it. What is the community? I'm living in a community world. A community world. I'm gonna say it's underpowered for 5 mana. It's OP. How is this OP? I don't understand. Me no comprende. No comprende. It's not on the burger trap, huh? This is very nice trap. I'd like to stick my hand in there and get me some burgers. I think the burger is the bait and the trap is around it. This is where we left off yesterday. I thought this was really funny. I mispronounced the mana cost yesterday. It's 1 blue and 1 for the burger trap. Trap yourself some burgers here in the stream. Not booger, burger. 1 blue and 1 and enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a charge counter on the burger trap, and this will catch Winky from Popeye, right? Definitely on a Tuesday. Remove 5 charge counters from Borger Trap and sacrifice a destroy target creature. It's fine. I think it passed the test. It passed the mustard test yesterday. So let's give it a pass. It's okay. LMAO. Now that's a card. Now that's what I like to see. I like to see a little more. I might fall for that trap. I know it depends on. Now I'm starting to get hungry. Really, really hungry. Well, that's fun. I like it. It's really funny. It's a fun time. I like it. I want to thank you all for joining me here this morning on the morning show. I'm just going to pull some couple of things up here. The very best of the Friday stream. All right. Morning, amazing fans of Magic the Gathering. Tuning in from around the world. I want to thank all you folks who like to crack open packs and shuffle stacks of Magic the Gathering cards. And you'd like to join me here on the morning show. Is there enough information out there? You like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Or is there too much information? Let me do it for you here on the morning show each and every day, Monday through Friday in the mornings. If you're getting up, you got places to be, and you got things to do, no matter where you are, I want to thank you for dragging me along for the ride. Whether you got me on the handle of the baby stroller, or perhaps duct taped to the snow shovel, sitting on the dash of the car, or hanging out at the water cooler, wherever you are, I want to thank you for joining me and dragging me along with you this morning. Get there safely wherever you're off to. I have some news, and I want to thank you folks for all your support. I had a very interesting email yesterday from Arjun over at MTG Stocks. I did. I received an email from the gentleman. He is I think he's the owner. He's the big boss over at the stock desk. That's right. The big boss, the big kahuna over at the stock desk. Emailed the bro. He reached out to me and he said, what did he say? Let's take a look. I'm pleased to announce that the Brody Alphonso morning show is now sponsored in part by MTG Stocks. So I think that that's really cool. Hey Brody, it's always nice to see you popping up on our Twitter feed about the MTG stocks and articles. I noticed that you also talk about articles on there and even incorporate the stock ticker. Nicely done. Always good to see this being passionate and active about the content that people create. When it comes to content creation, Arjun is the pensmith of the weekly winners that we watch and we discuss and we read here on the morning show as a little help to help you along your Magic the Gathering finance journey. I'd like to offer you a 1-year premium Mythic subscription to the Magic the Gathering MTG stocks. Please showcase it on your channel. Actually, I'm more interested to know what you think of the features and where it can be improved. So I want to thank you. It's been a bit of a road. We've been at this for a couple of years now, and it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a really good time, and that's in part thanks to the viewers. So, if you're interested, please let me know the email address, and we'll register you a premium Mythic account for your Magic the Gathering finance journey. So I want to thank a big thank you, a special thank you to Arjun for reaching out. It means a lot, and it's really quite fantastic. So without further ado, now that I'm going to have to activate this, and I might just do this right now because it looks like I just have to confirm my email address here. So now the Morning Magic the Gathering talks and stock show. We've got it sponsored in part by MTG Stocks premium Mythic edition of the MTG Stock site, the site that we love so much. So that's going to be very exciting because we're going to get to see some of the unlocked features that we have, and I'm going to go over that for you folks this morning and see where this is going to change things. Very excited. Let me log in here. Let's get logged in for the very first time. Let's go. Premium. The stock desk. Very, very cool. Okay. Nice, Brody. Premium kind of guy. Hey, Brody's a premium kind of guy. I really like that. Did you ever check out the Kingdom of Skullbonia? I did. And Skullbonia is like where what's the word? It's like bare knuckle boxing. That's where it started, I believe. That's as far as that's as far as I know. That is the namesake, the birthplace of bare knuckle boxing, and there's a really pugilism. I think that's the word that I used to describe it. For all you fine pugilists out there who like to crack skulls and crack open skulls and crack open packs of magic cards. What? No way. I know, right? That means you made it. Thank you so much. I'll buy you a booster pack on Tuesday for a hamburger today. I might fall for that. Oh, he's done. I know. This is the thing. When I know, I'm like, I got the email and I was like, my belly sunk. I was like, I'm in trouble. Brody's in big trouble. He's going to get a cease and desist order. And, no, actually, it was very positive email. And I'm like, and I'm reading on, I'm like, oh, snap. This is awesome. Right. So now check this out. So I'm gonna go through this with you folks now that we're sponsored in part by MTG Stocks, and we've got a two-way communication happening. So there's some really cool stuff that I was looking at that we're gonna have access to now that I can use to show you folks if you are so interested what is available through the premium Mythic, right? So so this is the three tiers. I have two tiers. I have three tiers. Okay, these are the three tiers. With basic membership, this is what you get. You get the free one. And that's everything that I've been doing for the last 2 years. Like Brody's balling on a budget. He's got himself a Supra, and this is the one that I've been using, the free membership. Actually, I just signed up. So I've been using this site. I've been reading these articles. I've been enjoying a lot of the content over here for absolutely nothing. And I share it with you folks because I really enjoy the writing. And our authors of these articles actually work really hard to put together awesome content. So that's pretty cool. So I've been up until now, up until Brody went premium, this is what I've been using, and it works great. There's a lot of features, but and then they've also got this uncommon edition here, very uncommon, and then there's the mythic edition. So this is super cool. All right, so mythic. Let's just take a look and compare and see what you get here. I'm going to shrink down just a little bit. So this is what we get now. This is what we get. So previously, and this is where we can compare. Let's shrink Brody. Where are we going to put Brody? Brody, where are we going to put you? Let's just shrink down. I'm getting smaller. I've like Alice in Wonderland. I ate the shrinking pill. Okay, so this is what you get. Well, this is what Brody's getting here, and it's going to be very interesting because we're going to be able to track stuff and unlock some of these features. So will be ad free, so we won't see ads. There'll be access to the Discord premium channel, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to have to hop on over at the Discord and join up to the MTG Stocks premium Discord channel. And that, of course, is you folks who connect with me over on Discord, gives you access to some more content over there and perhaps some earlier access to articles I'm looking to see. It's also so you don't get that with the other one. So you get premium access to the Discord. So I'll be over there for all you premium folks. I also get my decks. I think this is a way to create deck lists on their site. I think we already get it. I took it one step further as a kid and fought barefoot on gravel with my bare knuckles. Very nice. That's hilarious. I used to run on gravel. I would actually I'd enrage the babysitters so bad, and then I'd run really fast barefoot on gravel, and then they couldn't catch me because it hurt their feet. So barefoot on gravel is a good way to get away from somebody. So inventory, interesting. So also the watch list. So now this is something that I think is pretty cool. They have this watch list. So now that Brody's sponsored by MTG Stocks, in part for the morning show, we're going to get unlimited access to these watch lists. And this is the part that I'm actually very excited about because we can start at making our own watch list. And I think I've actually already gone and added a couple of cards to the watch list. Now, I've got a couple of notes going for Arjun of things that I think would be interested. I'm not going to pepper them with one at a time questions, but I'm definitely I'm gonna make some suggestions on things that I think might be useful. But the watch list now, previously with a free membership, you can watch 50 cards, and then on the uncommon membership, you can add 50 cards to your watch list, and then with the premium membership where we are now, is unlimited cards on the watch list. So when we see a card that is interesting, that we're discussing, and I think is watch list worthy, I'm going to add it. I took it one step further. Okay, so we get access to unlimited watch lists. Now, 50 cards isn't really enough for a highfalutin type of fella like me. Price alerts. This is another one that I find is interesting. So with the premium membership, we're going to get price alerts. So if we do perhaps have something on our watch list, like there's a couple of sites out there that I found are interesting that are shadow trading sites. So shadow trading is when you make the same trades as a professional trader. Do you know why they call them stock brokers? Because they make you broker. That's right. They take your money. So do the brokers at the bank and anybody who's trying to take your money for an investment purposes. So shadow trading is something that I think is very interesting. It's done in stock markets and it's also done in cryptocurrencies where people register their portfolio and you can see who is the top performer or the winningest performer or who has the highest percentage of gains on their account, and you can choose. You can choose to make the same trades as they do. When they buy a certain stock, commodity, cryptocurrency, magic card, you can also buy the same one. And then with something like a shadow trading, there's a few different sites out there, and I'm going to do a little research because with a shadow trading option, you can see who is the top picker, who's the top dog in Magic the Gathering Finance. Which cards would you add to your cart? And then you can look at the portfolio. And then the interesting thing that I think, especially with shadow trading, is that the people who shadow trade and are very successful at it, or that make their portfolios public, they get tips every time somebody makes a shadow trade based on their portfolio. They get a tip, they get a percentage, or they get a small, they get a something, they get a little piece of the action for saying, thank you very much, Mr. Trader Man. You're making me some money. So like if you look at some of these crypto shadow traders or stock market shadow traders, I wish you could shadow trade some of the could you imagine if you could shadow trade like the 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 big people who own a lot of shares in contracting companies, whether it's food companies, beverage companies, military contractor companies, pharmaceutical companies, and all that. Could you imagine if you could shadow trade the portfolios for the people who make the policies for those types of companies? Like, if you were legislating ice cream, maybe if I'm going to make a rule in Sculbonia, it's free ice cream for kids on Sunday, right? Well, you might want to buy shares in an ice cream company, perhaps. Link to the Discord. Thank you so much, Benson. 2 peas in a pod. Psycho Cowboys United. Okay, so I'm interested in the price alerts as well as the minute movers. So that's something we now have access to with our premium membership. Trends. These are all unlocked features. So these are all these features here: trends, expanded interest, penny stocks, Card Kingdom interest. So they've got these little explainers here next to it. So what are these Card Kingdoms? Interest. Whenever Card Kingdom changes the prices on both retail and buy list, you get to see the difference, and the feature allows you to make more informed decisions of when to buy and when to buy list cards. So this is going to be a very interesting feature. So you can turn this on and get notifications when they change the pricing over at Card Kingdom for anything. That's a great feature that I think I'm going to add. And then Card Kingdom cheaper than TCG Player. Here's another interesting feature. This is turned on for us. It's switched on in the worst way, in the best, which is the best way. This is going to display all the cards that are presently less expensive on Card Kingdom compared to their price at TCG Player low. It only exhibits cards that are currently available on Card Kingdom at the time of the price collection. So this is another feature that we're going to have access. I'm building something. As for Brody's help, I'm spreading rumors, and something is coming. I like it. So check this out. Buy low, sell high. Underpriced cards. Let's hit it. Oh.
Buy low, sell high. That's my motto. I may just quit my job at the power plant and become a full-time stock market guy.
Right, onward and upward. Just kidding. Know something. Who's this cool guy? Okay, so I might just quit my job at the factory. And actually, cardboard. I got your message on Discord. I've been a little busy, especially with work. The way things are going this week has been very busy. But I do mean to tie in with you. I just can't figure out Google Sheets. I can't, and I don't know if it's a spreadsheet. I don't know if you can email a version, but I can't seem to figure out Google Sheets and how to access it. So I kind of got stuck there. But I'll tie in with you a little bit later, perhaps on Discord. Maybe you can walk me through it. All right, underpriced cards. These are other options that we're going to get. And then perhaps Brody might be able to use this for a period of time and write a testimonial to see. I got to read some of these testimonials because there could be some insight in here on how to use and take advantage of some of these key features that are now unlocked for the bro to the D. Thank you, Arjun, for that one. Very, very cool. So a little bit of news. Oh, so the first, just so you folks know, where are we here? My watch list. Watched cards. All right. So this should save the cards that I was watching earlier. All right, here we go. So watched cards. Now this is very cool. So when we discuss a card, like this is a card that I am watching, Spelunking. And I think you folks already know I'm quite bullish on this card. I think it's going to do very well, but don't take it from me. Now we can track this sucker Spelunking and see where it's at. So Spelunking, and the other card that I want to add first on the list, Echoing Deeps, is this one, Echoing Deeps. Now, one of the bits of feedback that I was going to ask to Arjun is because he asked for some feedback on some of the functionality of these functions. Feedback on the functions. I would find it very useful if you could batch your watch list. For example, if you had one watch list for reserve list cards, or if you had another watch list for my speculation, or if you had another watch list for whatever you want, Brody's speculations or Brody's modern list. So right now, as far as I can see, you can create your own watch list, and it even has a filter down this side that we can turn on any of these filters to track these prices. However, you can't batch them by watch list type. So that would be something that I would possibly like to see in the future, if you could have multiple buckets of watch lists, like my reserve list watch list, my modern watch list. But so 2 cards, let's add that to the Spelunking Echo and Deep's pre-release card. I might have to edit this one and get it out of here. So as we move a little further down the stream, rowing our boat, if you know what I mean. Pre-release, Lost Caves and Ixalan. I want to add all of these actually, but I'm just going to go Echoing Deep's Last Caverns right here. Boom. So Echoing Deeps and Spelunking, those are 2 cards on Brody's watch list. I like it. Very cool. Very, very nice. These are 2 speculations of mine. I'm very bullish on the Spelunking card. I'm in for $1.79. Got a few copies. Now, another thing would be interested in is if we could add the shadow trading function, so that you could see whose I suppose whose watch list has increased in price the most over time, and then you can kind of compare that. If you choose to make it public, you can compare that to see who like the winningest traders or of Magic the Gathering cards based on speculation. Why will a priest laugh at your Friday jokes anyway? Only when it's a Good Friday joke, of course. And who wins the fight between Friday and Saturday? Of course, Friday loses, because it's a weekday. And what does a biologist wear to work on a casual Friday? Well, jeans, of course. Ha, ha, ha. All right. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time and play around with this to unlock some of the premium functions and mess around. I'm gonna start building a watch list for you folks, which is gonna be very interesting. So let's get to this news article here this morning and join in the fun with this interesting news article about murders at Karlov Manor. Very, very cool. Just name different lists, right? Yes, naming different types of lists. Owning 50 of each, my friend. Just name different lists. Owning 50 of each, my friend. Yes, it would be nice to have different lists and name them. Right now, you get one list, but if you could batch them into different categories, that would be kind of cool. So let's check this out. And if you could share it and if you could export it to an Excel sheet, that would also be cool. Nevertheless, let's talk about murders at Karlov Manor and a bomb that boasts a 68% limited win rate. Holy moly. What is the bomb? This is the bomb, baby. All right. Unassailable bombs in recent Magic the Gathering limited sets is becoming a stronger theme than they ever were. Even just a few years ago, a single card boosting your win rate by 15% was unheard of. Fast forward to 2023 and Sunfall, and one of the most powerful limited rares that we've ever seen in the game, and moving from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, here's a card for you, Huckleberry, Bone Horde Dinosaur from Dracosaur. This guy's a Skullbonian if I ever saw one. So come on, Bone Horde, stay still. This is a very, very fussy card. All right, what has it got? A Dinosaur Dragon, 5/5, flying first strike. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library, and you may play them this turn. So the upkeep, you get to not exile 2 off the top, and you get to play those this turn. If you exile a land this card way, create a 3/1 dragon token creature. If you exiled a non-land card this way, create a token. And what's the mana cost? 5. Python is a coding thing, I think. So to update, Python script automatically imports prices to Google spreadsheet with their AP. So unassailable bombs we're talking about. We're going to talk more about that, Splendor. It's going to be interesting. So we're talking about the Bonehard Drakasar as well as Akla. Some of the names, folks. I mean, it's Aklazot's. Aklazot's deepest betrayal are incredibly difficult to beat if you don't answer them right away. 4/4 flying lifelink. When Aklazot's attacks, each opponent discards a card for each opponent who can't you draw. And when opponent discards a land card, they create a rat token 1/1 with flying. A bat. No, rats don't fly. Sorry. I did start watching The Secret of Nim over the weekend. Another fine film from the 80s that I enjoy. And then, so maybe a flying rat isn't too out of the question. And when Aklazot's dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transmuted under its opponent on its owner's control. Transmuted and transform. What does it transform into? Oh my god! So if it dies, when it dies, it gets to return to the battlefield transform. Oh my god! What is it? I gotta check. I gotta check now. Aklazot's. A bat god. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh my. Da-da-da. Oh my god. Aklazot's deepest betrayal. I gotta see what it transforms into. What's on the other side of this sucker? Okay, land card. Temple of the Dead. Taps for black. Temple of the Dead. Get out of bed, you sleepyhead. 1 black. Tap. 1 black and 2, tap and transform Temple of the Dead. Activate only if a player has 1 or fewer cards in hand and only as a sorcery. So then it transforms and you get Aklazot's back? OMG, this thing is so hard to kill. It just keeps coming back again and again. This is a bad card. Ugh. And when by bad, I mean bad to the Skullbonia. Holy moly. So we're talking about bombs being the way to build around bombs, and now it's 2024, and Martyrs and Karlov Manors has continued this trend of incredibly powerful limited bombs that are hard to beat, and if not dealt with immediately, they'll cut your feet. While these cards don't seem to be quite as powerful as the Lost Caverns of Ixalan ones, they're still going strong enough that you might not want to pass on them almost any circumstance. Let's take a look. So, like when you get one of these bombs in a limited draft, it's like you almost want to change your game plan up because you drop this on the table and it could just yeah, GG's right there. So these are still going strong enough that you don't want to pass on them if they're past you. In many circumstances, you look at what, according to 17lands.com, I'm going to have to check this place out. What are the best Murder of the Karlov Manors bombs that you do not want to pass? Oh, I'm going to have to check this out. 17 lands. It's like almost like 99 balloons. Card data. A little more card data here. Premier bombs, eh? Aurelius Vindicator. This is the one that it's right at the top. So these are the winningest bombs from the Murders of Karlov Manors set, and this is the one that I drafted over the weekend, and it's apparently the number. Well, maybe it's just alphabetically, but apparently it's a bomb, and it is percentage. Yeah, it's a 96%. Oh my goodness, this is the GP play rate, 96% play rate. This is the win rate when main decked, 61%. And number of games in opening hand, okay. So this is definitely I'm definitely going to have to hold on to this site here because it's telling us all the bombs, and I'm going to have to mention this to Mrs. Alphonso because this Aurelius Vindicator is very good, especially in limited. All right. As a quick note, we're going to be using game in hand win rates when discussing these cards. This is the card that I opened in my pre-release kit. Okay, or in my not pre-release kit, my bundle. And then I drafted it over the weekend and I couldn't lose. It's just insane when this card hits the battlefield, you just win the game. It's very hard to deal with. You can play it face down. as a 2/2 creature with ward. It's got a mana cost of 4, but you can play it face down for 3. And then when you turn it face up, you got to pay the disguise cost. But like, look at the disguise cost: 1 white and 3 and X. So it's got a pretty hefty disguise cost. You're probably going to want to play this at least for 5 because you got 1 white and 3, and then X is when it's turned face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and or cards from graveyard. So this thing can exile cards from the graveyard and from battlefield, and when it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. Well, I'll tell you what, this thing mops up the game pretty quickly. If your opponent has any threats on the board that are flyers, first of all, I think that's where you go with this because it's a 4/2, it's got flying and it's lifelink. I actually made a 12-point swing in one game with this. So I was playing Selesnya, and then there's a card called Hard Hitting Question, which is like a one-sided fight card. I mean, I don't know why you would want to fight anymore with a card like this, Hard Hitting Question. So hilariously, Selesnya being very good, hard hitting question. So Selesnya very, very good in the Murders of Karloff manner because you pair this hard hitting question with the Vindicator, and look what happens. So there's fighting is not an option anymore. It's not that good. This is the hard hitting question is such a good card, especially with a creature with lifelink like Aurelia's Vindicator. Target creature you can, and this is a cheap card. There's a couple of 1-mana green spells I'm going to throw in the lands deck, and I'm going to get to a little bit more on that later because there's Pick Your Poison, Hard Hitting Question in the common and uncommon slot. This is an uncommon, is very good. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Now, this is super, super relevant because it's not like a typical fight card where you deal damage to the creature and the creature deals damage back to your. This is a one-sided mechanic. So with the Aurelia's Vindicator, the hard-hitting question is going to get the Vindicator to deal 4 damage, which is quite likely going to be enough to remove anything with 4 toughness. It's probably likely to very likely it's going to be enough to deal with your opponent's threats. Then because of the lifelink mechanic, you actually get 4 life off of it. So if your opponent has a pesky blocker, even if it's a 3/1 or a 2/1, you get to go ahead and hit this hard-hitting question, hit the Vindicator, and deal 4 to it. You gain 4 life. Then you swing at your opponent. It deals 4 more to them. So that's another 4 lifelink. So that's another 8-point swing. So between the Vindicator and the hard-hitting question together, that's a 12-point swing in one turn and a removal of one of your opponent's threats. You can target Rot Priest with hard hitting too. I like it. Robert O'Brien's here. Nice to see you. The fight mechanic plus Phyrexian Obliterator. That's why. Okay. All right. Oh, good morning to see you. Good morning, Brody and chat. If you haven't heard, Brody got an email yesterday from MTG Stock Desk. I got a sponsorship from them. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be adding that's news. If you're just tuning in, that was the news this morning. So we actually got sponsored by the MTG Stock Desk. So we've got we sponsored with a very nice premium membership for a year. So I get to unlock some of those amazing features over the Stock Desk. So that's new. So thank you so much, Robert. That's great. And thank you, Hillbilly, for all your support. It's starting to shape up around here. I might have to get the broom out. Yeah, it was a sinking feeling. For those of you tuning in, we're just about 45 minutes into the stream here. I had a little news announcement, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about the bombs in Murders at Markov Manor and the way they can just take over the game. Arjun, hey, there's Arjun right there. Thank you. Okay, we got to say thanks to you folks here this morning. Thank you, Arjun Brandenburg. I'd like to know, where are you? Can you folks put your locations in the chat? Where are you all coming in from? We got people coming in from all over the world. We've got folks from Sculbonia. We've got Robert O'Brien coming in from Kelowna, Benson. We've got folks in New Jersey, MTG Gaming Bob in Ohio, Mr. DJ Longhair coming in from California. Hot Dice, where are you at this morning? I want to kind of get an idea where. Boston. Michael Superbacker from Boston. So we get to all these amazing, beautiful fans in the chat here from all over the world. So I want to give a special thank you, Roberts in BC, Canada. Kentucky, the hillbilly. It's nice to see you. So we got folks from all over the world here discussing the prices of Magic cards. People who like to crack packs and shuffle up stacks. So give us, please reach out and say special thank you to Arjun for his very generous contribution to the stream. We love talking Magic the Gathering, and this is going to make the stream even better. So thank you for leveling up the game. We appreciate you for everything you do. Your articles and the writers that you put to work over there. We love those articles and we read them here on the morning show whenever they come up. We're talking bombs here this morning. We're talking about limited bombs in Murders of the Karloff Manor. I was talking about Vindicator. This is a card that was in my bundle, and I started playing it with this card here, the hard-hitting question, making 12-point swings in the game. So you can hard-hitting question off the Vindicator to remove one of your opponent's things, and then you can also attack in the air for 4 and get that sweet lifelink off this guy. So let's discuss a little bit more of these bombs across the different data points. So Vindicator is the best card in Murderers of Mar. Okay, so I was playing Mrs. Alphonso over the weekend. She's like, man, I just can't beat you. I'm like, the deck doesn't lose. Well, this is why. This card is the best limited card in Murders of Karloff Manor, and I just happened to open it. It's going to be, let's check the stock desk and see what the price is on that Vindicator. And Aurelia's, Aurelia. You know, it almost sounds like Aurelia. Aurelia's Vinegar, A-U-R. Okay. A-U-R. Lias Vindicator. Okay, so the boss man from the stock desk just joined us, and we've got my ambassador of Quan, MTG Ed, the dual brain tuning in. So nice to see you. Connecticut. Ed's coming in from Connecticut. Let's see the price on this bomb here. This is awesome. So Aurelia's Vindicator, a pretty sweet card. It's only $2.71, but I would keep an eye on this one because I think it's going to be definitely going to be a limited bomb, and in standard, we'll see if it's good enough to make its way into standard. But I think the ward mechanic is actually very good. Having to pay 2 extra, especially on a disguised creature to target it, is very good and makes it pesky and hard to deal with. So I would keep an eye on this one, and it's been identified here as the best bomb in Martyrs of Karloff Manor in limited play. As long as this card pops up in your hand at some point, the Vindicator has boasted a win rate of 68%. Those numbers indicate that this bomb is incredibly hard to beat once it hits the table. I believe it is. And I'll give you one more tip, though. If you're going to add the Aurelia's Vindicator in your deck, make sure to add at least a couple other cards that can be disguised and played face down. Because after a while, as soon as you put it face down, your opponent's going to want to remove it right away. So Aurelia's Vindicator was revealed at the beginning of Karloff Manor spoiler season, and we're quick to suggest that this card looked absolutely insane and limited, and the Vindicator is capable of doing everything. It's removal on a stick, it's a flyer, it's got ward, it's got lifelink, it hits hard, and it wins games, and it's very pesky to deal with. But it feels really good. Let's face it, it feels really good when it's on your side of the battlefield. So the Vindicator being capable of doing anything, including removing your opponent's or opposing permanents, recurring yours, and importantly, it's a nasty threat as a 4/2 body. Incredibly good card, bomb and limited. If it weren't enough, because if a Vindicator has disguise, it even incredibly easy to splash it into any Murder of the Karloff Manor deck. I guess so, because double white pips is kind of hard to cast, but if you're putting it as a 1-of or a splash card and you want to flip it for the disguise, all you need is 1 white to do it. So that makes it quite good. Quite a very good card, especially in a white a white deck, a Selesnya deck, but even if you want to splash it, the card is pretty darn good. If it wasn't enough, the Vindicator has Disguise and is incredibly easy to splash in Murders the Karlov Manor deck. Even if you don't have any white mana, you can disguise it, and for 3 and a white, you can flip it over and start poking and popping off your opponent's threats on the battlefield. All in all, it's incredibly unsurprising that this card has been in the best performer of the set, and as long as you're able to sink some kind of mana into it, you're likely going to win the game. And that's what we like to do. Twiddler's here. Nice to see you. Twiddler's Place, what's new? What have you got for us going on this weekend? Anything? Any games? Any pack openings, perhaps? Friday night. Maybe there's something going on at the Twiddler's Place. You're gonna have to let us know. A place that I liked, I actually like to go over to Twiddler's Place and get in on some action, some box break. Like I saw a game that he was playing over at his place where I think the bounty was up to like 71 collector packs or some insane number. DK MTG pulled a foil mana crypt to claim that bounty, and it was just like, wow, that was a good time. I was 1 pack off too, by the way. And if you folks want to know, see this background behind me, this beautiful black lotus background. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panel black lotus background. This is courtesy of the Twiddler's Place. I won this in a duck race over at Twiddler's Place. It was a big duck race, and I had a really good duck. So I was very fortunate, and I want to thank you, Twiddler, because it really ties the room together, as the Big Lebowski would say. So thank you for everything, Twiddler. It means a lot. Is only the center of the web. We're talking bombs here. The center of the internet, perhaps the interweb, the World Wide Web. No, it's not that kind of web. It's a spider, elf detective, perhaps. This should be a spider, but it's not. It's an elf detective. It's got spidery legs on the back of it. Okay, maybe this just gets along with elves. It's Golgari card. It costs a green, a black, and 4, and it's a 5/4 beater with a Menace. It's got menace. It's hard to block, and it likes to talk. And if you don't run from it, you better walk. This Azoni, center of the web, enters the battlefield or attacks you. You may collect evidence. 4. I had to look up the collect evidence. So when you collect the evidence, you got to take a card from your graveyard that has the mana cost, or a combination of cards from your graveyard that has the same mana cost as the Madame Web. Full game and launch of my website tonight. Very nice. So if you folks haven't been there already, I suggest you do it, because there's really nothing to it. I know you can do it. You can head over to the Twiddler's Place. You can get in and on some games, and some games don't cost a thing. You just show up, and you may be able to get in on a game over there. There's something for everybody, and it's quite fun. And sometimes you might even win a prize. So sacrifice 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You gain 2 life. Okay, so let's back up a second. Collecting evidence. Let's collect some evidence here. So I had to look this up, but collecting evidence means you exile cards from the graveyard equal to the mana cost. It can be 1 card or a combination of cards equal to the number that you need to collect evidence on. If you do, create 2 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens. There's the spiders with menace and reach. Green being very weak to flyers. Brody's weak to flyers all the time. Sacrifice 4 tokens. So they could be any tokens. It could be spider tokens. It could be treasure tokens. It could be any kind of token. Then you get to surveil 2 and then draw 2 cards, and you gain 2 life. Sack 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2. That's really good. So you get at least, you can go as far as 4 cards deep off the top and gain 2 life. I'm just an hour away from Stamford, New Jersey. Not that far. Today's an exciting day. I'm going to do another 5-panel Magic the Gathering giveaway for my birthday. Wow. Very cool. So we're talking bombs, we're talking murders at Karloff Manor, we're talking limited, and we're talking cards that just win you the game with very high percentages if they hit the table. Vindicator may be the best card in Murders at Karloff Manor for limited, but Izoni is not too far behind. As long as you can collect evidence 4 when it enters the battlefield, Izoni offers 3 relevant bodies for 5 mana, which has traditionally been enough to make a MTG card a limited powerhouse. As the bodies let the bodies hit the floor, as the bodies pile up, all the bodies Izoni creates, including herself, also have menace. As the bodies get bigger, the menacing gets worse, and making it very difficult to block this sucker properly. And proper double blocking opens up the opponent to combat tricks and other forms of removal that can blow them out of the water. Not only does Izoni create bodies on the entry, but as long as you can collect evidence 4, you can scale your board presence immensely, and even trigger Izoni a few times is usually enough to bury your opponents in spiders. Buried in spiders. Any card that's capable of ending the game on its own deserves a high win rate, and Izoni's a game in hand win rate currently sits at a staggering 65% win rate. So what do we got? Argus. Argus Cause, the spirit of justice. Brody, what's your email address? I'll put it in. I still need to activate it for you. Okay. Oh no, I think it's activated. Right here. Your account is almost ready. Please confirm your address and activate it by pressing the activation button. Hi, AlphonsoInvestments at LLC@gmail.com. Oh, okay. Let me put it in the chat there. So earlier today, folks, I was going over the new features that were going to be unlocked to us in our new Magic the Gathering MTG Stocks premium account. Let's put it in. There you are. There you are, good sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the sponsorship. I really appreciate it. It warms my heart, and it made my day. It was most. I was jumping. Actually, you scared me at first. I thought I was going to get a cease and desist order. That's what I thought was coming. And then you hit me up with this very generous and beautiful email. So thank you very much. We're talking bombs here this morning, big bombs and bombs in the house. For all you folks who are on the stream here, joining us, it's a beautiful Friday, footloose and fancy free. It's getting ready to slide down that dinosaur's tail. We're talking Argus, Cost, Spirit of Justice. We're talking Aurelia's Vindicator, and we're talking the spider making card. That's Elf. You want any binders? I don't know what that means. Found you. Refresh. Do I want binders? Yes, he does. Yeah, I'll take anything. I don't know what. See here. Hit refresh. Do. This is so cool. Okay. See if there's anything else new here. I think we got it. My DAX settings. I'm going to start a watch list. And the other thing that I was talking about was with Mrs. Alphonso, a very interesting thing. If you could have buckets of watch lists. For example, you have one watch list. If you could group your watch lists in different categories, say my reserve list watch list, or my standard watch list, or my modern watch list, or if you could have maybe name those different watch lists, I think that would be interesting, because then you could kind of have buckets. You could look at reserve list cards and watch lists, and it may already be in there, but I haven't played around with it enough to do it. And then the shadow trading function might be quite interesting, where you can see people. Brody, refresh your browser. It just activated, and you should see all the premium features once you refresh. Let's refresh. I feel so fresh. Very cool. Oh, wow. Okay. Sure. Oh, premium. There it is here, folks. Thank you so much, Arjun. We are premium here this morning. So thank you very much, Arjun. I'm gonna have to explore the amazing features with everybody here as we go on our Magic the Gathering finance journey together. And we're definitely going to be Friday, right? We're definitely going to be. This is a great Friday. We're definitely going to be exploring some of these premium features. That's cool. Look at the premium. premium features. And I'm very excited to take a look and start using some of the tracking features as well as the watch list features. And it would be interesting to see if there was a way where folks, like, say I make Brody's watch list, if for example you add a card to a watch list on a certain date, and say you want to speculate on it, we're not exchanging any money here. We're just saying that if somebody made a watch list or a speculative list, that people could. There's a way to do shadow trading so that, for example, if you can see whose picks are up or whose picks are down, and as a portfolio in general, you can. But we can discuss that a little bit later. I thought it was very there's huge potential there, because if people make their watch lists active, it might be another feature that you would have to put on top of the watch list. But for example, if I went to my watch list, let's go premium. Oh, wow. So if I go to my watch list, I've got a couple of cards in my watch list. So and it would be sort of a build off of the watch list. So, you can have the top speculators. So if you were to have a function where you could almost like adding it to your cart, we're not buying it. We're just saying, okay, I'm gonna add 10 copies of Spelunking to my cart or to my watch list, and then over time, if the card rises in price, it would tell you how much you're up or how much that portfolio is down, and then people who have the most successful portfolio would be in the green, and then people could look at that and say, okay, this person, whoever it is, maybe it's Brody, he's got the best picks, and his watch list is moved up 500%. Well, now maybe I want to look at that person's watch list and follow it a little bit more closely, because they make great they make great picks. That was one of the things that I thought was interesting. But give me some time. I'm definitely going to play around with this. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of our dude, Brody. I appreciate it. Brody just refreshed and is feeling refreshed in the stream here this morning. We're talking bombs. We're excited about our new premium membership from the stock desk, and I can't wait to see the weekly winners article that's going to be coming out from Arjun on Monday. So we'll have that one for you folks, and we're going to be interested to see what he has in store for us. Argus, the cost spirit of justice. We're talking bombs here. I think this is the number 3 off the top. This double striking vigilance dude is a Boros card. It's not boring. It's not a Boros. It's a white. It's a red. It's 2, and it's a 2/4. This one's got double strike and vigilance. Vigilantly entered the stream. Whenever Argus Cause Spirited Justice enters the battlefield or attacks, choose up to one target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Otherwise, you suspect it. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you choose another target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Oh, so he just exiles a suspected creature? Ouch. And if it's not suspected, he makes it suspected. Eventually, I'll give retirement another shot, but not today. Not today. Not today, folks. All right. Argus costs high win rates suggest that the suspect plays a big role within Murders at Karlov Manor, and as a body, Argus is valuable enough, able to push damage past while preventing opponents from cracking back. This ability to exile suspended creatures. No, it's suspected creatures. We'll help it out here. The ability to exile suspected creatures is presumably what makes Argus cost so strong. Given enough time, this card can definitely run away with the game, and perhaps not only with a win rate at cards that have a higher win rate. Argus cost will continue to provide value when not dealt with, and being able to suspect creatures makes him even more difficult to block. And all in all, Argus cost, the Spirit of Justice, has a 65% win rate at the moment, and Ezram, the Chief Agency Chief. The next bomb for your mom. This is the bomb baby. Ezram, Agency Chief. This is a 5/5 flyer. It's an Azorius card. It costs you 2 blue, 2 white, and 1 for a 5/5 flying. It was a 5/5/5/5, one-eyed, one-horned, 5/5 flying purple people eater. When it enters the battlefield, investigate twice, and then you pay 1, sack an artifact, and Amram gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, Hexproof, or Tell End of Turn. The instant speed Hexproof on it is actually quite good. 1 and sack an artifact, you can't touch my stuff. That seems pretty tasty to me. So Ezram, the Agency of Chief, is essentially Dream Trawler at home, and we finally expect that if blue-white control does return to standard, Ezram will be the win condition of choice. Able to investigate twice and repurpose clue tokens and for other artifacts into protection, it makes Ezram incredibly difficult to deal with. Lifelink doesn't work either with the race, makes Ezram incredibly... Lifelink doesn't work either with the race, makes Ezram incredibly difficult to deal with. As far as sheer power goes, we're surprised Ezram's win rate isn't higher. The mana cost of Ezram's is rather harsh, demanding 2 white and blue mana, which makes splashing Ezram particularly difficult. Additionally, in order to play Ezram and protect it, you need 6 mana. I guess you need 1 more up, which can be rather difficult to assemble depending on the speed of the format. Even though this card is a difficult to cast, Ezram's win rate is 64.6%. according to 17lands.com. And there's one more, I think, Polesmere, Midnight's Light. Okay, so here's why I won so many games over the weekend, because I pulled Aurelia's Vindicator and Tolsmere Midnight's Light. I pulled both these cards in my Selesmia deck, and I got hard-hitting question, pick your poison. And the other one that there's another Selesnya card that when it enters the battlefield, you get counters on it equal to the number of creatures you control. This card's incredibly powerful and hard to deal with. It's not just this card that's hard to deal with. The wolf that it makes is incredibly difficult to deal with, and creatures that might make multiple bodies in limited are quite good and traditionally been incredibly powerful. And then Tolsmere the Midnight Light, it's no exception. It's a 3/2, it's a life linker, and you get a 5/5 wolf token with trample when it enters the battlefield. So this one's, it costs you 2 white and 1 green and 2 for this sucker. It's got lifelink, it's a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get Voija, and if you saw Voija in the Wolf Commander slot, there is a 5/5 Wolf Commander now. So Wolf's getting some more support. I guess the Garruk cards or Garruk cards will be very good, because I like Wolf Tribal. There really isn't a ton of support, but I think now we're starting to see it pile in here, and by way of this card, it's very, very good. When a wolf you control, like this is so good, this evasion technique. When a wolf you control attacks, and it could be any wolf, it could be the Wicked Wolf, it could be a 2/2 wolf token, it could be any wolf. This is whenever a wolf you control attacks, it could be a pack of wolves. When a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsmere attack this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. So Tolsmere, if you can make enough wolf tokens to outnumber your opponents, Tolsmere ain't going to get blocked. You can force blocks with the wolf set attack, and Tolsmere can smack in for 3. Richie Dubs, when does Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow rotate? As soon as you sit on the boxes, they will rotate out. As soon as you start putting them away, it's likely they're going to rotate. October? I'm going to start sitting on some Crimson Vow. I want to get some Crimson Vow before October. It's cheap. I'm big on buying the overstocked boxes of sets nobody likes. And Murders at Carla's, I'm asking because a lot of that wolf and werewolf synergy is in those sets. Okay, if your opponents are unable to deal with Tolsmere in a timely manner, your I don't even know how to say it, but I'm going to just mispronounce it for you folks anyway. Volja Fenstalker token will start eating your opponent's creatures by forcing them to block if Tolsmere attacks. In a weird situation, where you have other wolves pass Voja, you can force opponents to block these too. And even if this doesn't come up much in limited, it's still a powerful ability. Thanks to Tolsmere creating 2 problematic bodies with a threatening pseudo removal if you cannot deal with them. It's currently has a 64.2% win rate. I'll tell you, when I was playing the Vindicator and Tolsmere together in one deck, I don't think you can lose. If you check Basic Showcase, Vow lands, they're going up, moving up in price. Crimson Vow, if you check Basic Showcase, Crimson Vow lands, they're going up in price. I'm going to have to check those out, Splendor. I'm going to. Definitely. Have to check those out. All right. It's time for you folks to move and shake in your seat. I want to thank you folks for tapping your feet and joining me. No, the show's not over. We're just getting on to the part of the stream where we look at the movers and the shakers for Friday, February 16th. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me. It's a time to move and it's time to shake in your seats. Here today, let's look at the all list. We want to know everything that's moving and shaking in the world. And on Monday, we're going to get the weekly winners from Arden over at the stock desk. It's going to be good. We're going to do a recap of this week's events. But this morning is Friday. It's ready to slit down that dinosaur's tail. I wish you a yabba dabba doo day, each and every one of you. You know what's worse than Friday the 13th? A Monday the 13th. And when does John Voorhees wear a t-shirt and shorts and a hockey mask? On Casual Friday the 13th. All right. Thank you, folks, for joining me. These are your movers and the shakers for February 16th, 2024. And we've got a whole lot more in store. Hi, je bent een Nederlander. Waarom in het Nederlands? Meneer, mag ik een vraag stellen? Waarom uit het Nederlands? Natuurlijk, ik kan een beetje Nederlands praten. Ik heb familie in het Nederlands. Ik heb een familie in het Nederlands. Mijn vader, hij is een Nederlander. Are you going to MTG Amsterdam? I wish I was. I did put in for a creator badge. I never heard back. But apparently I haven't made that creator status. But with a little bit of help from you folks, that may change. I have family in Scravendale, friend Savannah Lyons, another fine viewer. He's in St. Martin's Dyke, I believe. All right, let's check this out. New Jersey, this is their movers and the shakers for today. Okay, so we've got some. We're doing a full recap on the for the week here. Okay, it's Friday. This is the all list. Everything, everything, including the kitchen sink, Brody. It's all up for grabs. Help yourself. All right, Mock Sapphire topping the list with a 2% increase. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of, but money wise, Brody. Where's the money, Brobowski? Mock Sapphire. This is definitely a card that. Okay, let me tell you a story. If you've ever heard of a fella named Peter Atkins, he was a WotC employee and he sold a collection just a couple of years ago. It might be just recently, about 2 years ago, and including in that collection was a playset. I believe it was a playset of mock sapphires. Now that would have been a hot item to buy, very expensive. And the blue sapphire tends to be the one that people want most, and it usually commands a very, very high price tag. Yes, Peter Atkinson, was it Atkins or Atkinson? Very sick collection that he sold, and it included a playset of the Beta Mock sapphires, and that would have been something that anybody who had the ability to pick it up would have done very well on it. So there's a very, very sick collection. So let's take a look here. We got the mock sapphire. Now it's time we get to put some lines on charts here this morning. Let's put some lines on charts for you folks this morning. That's all I want to do is put lines on charts with you. So we're talking about the unlimited version. Now this is the cheapest version of the sapphire you're going to get, short of the collector's edition and the Magic 30 edition. Proxy is also an auction if you're going to get into old school or you're going to get into vintage. This is well, you're going to need a playset of Moxes eventually. Unfortunately, they're so high in price that it's a little bit preventative for folks that want to try. But you can always proxy these things. I'm a big fan of proxies. Why not? Do you want to play old school? You want to play vintage? You even want to play some fringe formats where these are legal, like Canadian Highlander. That's another format where I think you can have Moxes. But HP is fairly affordable. All right, where is this thing gone? Let's take a look at the chart on this. Let's take a look at a little chart on this one. So if you look back, we pull this chart back, this chart, these Moxes have been fairly flat in up until Kaldheim. Like what's the price point here around Kaldheim? $3,100. So like if you ask me, the economy is going to be putting along very slowly. And this is according to George Tritch's periods when to make money. So I believe, if you ask me, my opinion is we're going to see a softening in prices for the next 6 to 8 months. And I've seen some folks out there on YouTube, they're saying like the reserve list and the financial markets for Magic the Gathering could turn around at any second. So make sure you get the cards that you want to get before the market turns around and everything goes up. I think we're at least another 8 to 16 months away from any kind of economical recovery and inflation balancing it out, and folks actually getting back to a period when we're in good times and we're actually making good money again. You know, Brody's a working man. For you folks, the working man. So I'd work every day of the week trying to do the best that I can to put food on the table and put cardboard on the table. But sometimes it gets a little harder and I get behind on responsibilities, get behind on bills, and there's just no cash left on the table for a Mox. So I think we've got definitely another 8 to 16 months of financial slowdown, economical slowdown, and without a lot of extra and disposable money, this reserve list market isn't going to go anywhere. The only thing that's going to happen is folks who have been sitting on dry powder, meaning lots of cash on hand, will be picking up reserve list cards for cheap. Bottom is closed. How close? I don't know, but 1 to 18 months, I'd say. But how can I tell? Some stuff has a floor for pricing at certain prices. Shouldn't get snapped up, and I'm one of these buyers. Yes, once things sort of, and I would say you don't have to run out, panic, and try and get any of these reserve list staples, especially the cards that cost a big dollar. But I mean, you're going to have a very snacking good time trying to pick up some of these for the next little. I think it's a slower fall, personally, 3 to 5 years. That's fair. That's fair. What else? We got the tabernacle. Le tabernacle de Pendreville. Pour tout le monde en français qui sont ici en Canada, apprenez-vous le stream live de Brody Alphonso ce matin, le vendredi le 16 de février 2000, l'année 2024. All right, the Tabernacle of Prendel Vale. This is the very, very French card here, right? Tabernacle, this one here, it's expensive, $37.99. Holy smoke. This thing's moved up a bit in price. Now, I got called out yesterday for being a bad man. Okay, so I'm using this card right now. I am with Winter Orb. OMG. Dex using it? Let's take a look. Vintage, Legacy also playing it. So Vintage and Legacy are playing this card. It's only legal in Vintage and Legacy. Lands deck is playing it. And I'm currently trying to build a Commander Lands deck. And then like the new case of the hothouse is something that I also want to include in the Commander Land. Some scholar called you that. Yes, some scholar. It was you, Hot Dice. They have to erode everyone's faith and willingness to overlook the bad. I will not be overcome. Yes, some scholar. It was you, Hot Dice. I was bad man. So I'll tell you how I'm using this. I am using this with Winter Orb, and it's fun. Okay, so this only gives players a single land to untap each and every time. So that's kind of that's kind of what it does. So as long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than one land during their untap step. I should run it with a Relic Barrier or something that's going to give me an extra untap step. Okay, but then so this is fun. Fun for who? I mean, this is the fun police. This combo. No, it's fun because then what you end up doing is you add this card, Living Lands, and then what happens is all forests become 1/1 creatures and are still lands, and then you play the Heart of Yavimaya or the Yavimaya. What's the name of the land that makes everything forests? Uh, what's the name? It's eluding me right now, but it makes everything a forest. You're gonna pay the one, right? So then you play the card that make the land that makes everything forest, and then everyone's like, "Yay, everything's a forest." Cradle of Growth. No, the one that makes everything a forest. I could just reach over. I for whatever Yavimaya. Yeah, it's a Yavimaya. Let's see here. All lands are forests. There's just so many Yavimayas out there. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, is that the one? Yeah, that's what it is. It's this one. Yes. So you play this, and then people are like, each land is a forest in addition to its other land type. So then, you're like, oh, that's so nice of you, Brody. Thank you. And then with the Tabernacle on the battlefield with the Winter Orb, people can only untap one land, and then you play this, and then they're all 1/1 creatures that have an upkeep. Right? Isn't that friendly magic? And then you play cards like Ramanap Excavator and Crucible of Worlds that allow you to play extra lands out of the graveyard. So then you just play your lands out of the graveyard, and then you run cards like Wilderness Reclamation. And you play Relic Barrier, so you can untap the Winter Orb. And then this beautiful green enchantment here lets you untap all your lands on each end step. Why not? Seems fun. Seems super fun. Yes, it is the Cradle of Growth. I was thinking that it was like the Gaia's Cradle. It's the Cradle of Growth. Rock the Cradle of Growth. So a card of the Tabernacle, there's plenty of ways to use it. It's actually really quite powerful. It's a stacks piece. It's a stacks land. It really is. It's $3,799. Holy smokes. You can always proxy it, but there's a card that, I mean, land's always good real estate. It's on the reserve list. It's not going anywhere. This card's going to be expensive for a long time. It's incredibly powerful, and it's been drifting down in price for at least a couple of years since 2021. And this card, it's going to remain good forever. Even Goblin Chain Whirler, right? Or you can have the Yavimaya on the board and then Pyroclasm. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like a very friendly thing to do, but sometimes when people are like, stacks are a good answer to combo. If people are comboing off, you need to play stacks to try and calm the waters. What else we got? The collector's edition Black Lotus. I would like to get one of these. I think this would be a decent pickup. It's $3,700 for the collector's edition. It's the cheapest version and it's playable. I would stay away from the dirtiest anniversary, the MTG Dirty, the dirtieth anniversary. I would stay away from that one, but I would definitely get the collector's edition. This one will have square corners on it, and it's $3,700. It'd be nice to get a collector's edition Lotus, something that This thing was as high as $800, and I remember I was a little kid in 1995 when the collector's edition came out. It was about $200 or $250 Canadian for the collector's edition set. That was every card in the collector's edition. That's all it costs. And now those sealed boxes are worth a fortune. Next time, try running right 3 times. 3 rights make a left. Rant over. Some arena players and their combo net decks equal their parents are. Bro to the D, what's up, bro? Good morning. 4 keeps. Well, we're playing for keeps here on the morning show. Nice to have you with us. Brody's running down some movers and the shakers here this morning. We got just another minute here left on the stream. We're gonna have to head out for Friday. We are. We've got Word of Command coming up. These are all expensive cards. Word of Command, Mishra's Workshop, Nether Void, Zhang Fei, the Fierce Warrior, Force Field, Balance of Power, and Prodigal Sorcerer. I don't even know what this card does. Balance of Power. If you have fewer cards in your hand than your opponent does, you draw until you have the same number for 5 mana. This actually seems pretty good in decks where people have max hand size. Where are you been these days? Washington? This seems good. A card from Portal, I think it is. Or no, this is a, what do they call that? Yeah, 3 Kingdoms, P3K. Very nice. Very nice. And then the Force Field. Prodigal Sorcerer. Nether Void. Mishra's Workshop. Did you hear that? We're going to be heading. All right. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. This show is but a dream. Thanks for everybody who joined me here this morning. It's Friday. Good morning. It's Friday, February 16th. Thanks for getting up and going. Wherever you got me this morning, whether you got me duct taped, I know Richie Dubb probably got me duct taped to the snow shovel. You maybe got me on the front of the baby stroller or the shopping cart, maybe in the back seat of the truck, or maybe in the box hanging from the rear view mirror. Wherever you got me with you today, I want to thank you for taking me along for the ride. I want a big special shout out to all the viewers who make this show possible. Without you, there is no show. So thank you once again. And a very special thank you to Arjun from the stocks desk, the chef over at the stock desk. Het is een belangrijke stream. It's a very important stream, folks. It's a very important day. Brody Alphonso is going premium for 2024 thanks to Arjun over at MTG Stocks, putting us on the premium subscription to bring a little bit more content and beautiful card tracking capabilities to the show. And if you like tracking the prices of Magic cards, or maybe there's too much information, you can always let me do it for you each and every morning on the morning show. The bro, we're going to let you go. But not before we have Ron Burgundy take us out of here with a little bit of sweet jazz flute. Dankjewel, alsjeblieft, and we'll talk to you all on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Tot ziens.